G'day everybody, it's Peps here for Tipped Out's Round 7 tips. The great man Jamie, the J-Dog Wallis, is not with me tonight, but I have his tips in for a huge round of AFL action. And I can tell you now, if there was going to be a game of the round, it is definitely not going to be 8:10 p.m. on Friday evening. It's the Wet Toast Eagles versus the Richmond Tigers over at Optus Stadium, 8:10 p.m. our time, Eastern Standard Time. In Greg Clark for his debut. Greg Clark, what a name. It sounds like a player from probably the 1950s, not for 2022. Jerry McGovern's in and Sam Petrevsky-Seton is back in for the Wet Toast Eagles. Out is Bailey Williams, Elliot Yeo, both injured. Luke Foley, health and safety protocol. Zach Langdon omitted. And for the Tigers, some big ones in. Grimes, Sodo, Lambert, Morris-Rioli, and Sydney Kebab Stack is back in for the Tigers. Out, Jack Ross omitted. Matt Parker omitted. Ryan Mansell omitted. Robbie Tarrant has been managed. Humson Dow is injured. And Trent Conchin has been managed. But let's be honest, he hasn't been doing much at all. Look, this is going to be a channel changer for everybody. No one is going to watch this game. I'm not going to watch this game. The only people who are going to watch this game are the Wet Toast Eagles and Richmond supporters. There's got to be something better on. Maybe, hey, flick the notebook on, sit down with the Dale, and maybe earn a few brownie points. But the Tigers are going to be winning this. Wet Toast, they have been doing absolutely nothing so far this season, and they have got absolutely no chance of winning this whatsoever. So let's get over this one. Let's get on to Super Saturday, April 30. Now, this is the game of the weekend. 1:45 p.m. GMHBA Stadium. It is the Geelong Cats against the all-conquering Fremantle Dockers, and the Cats, no wins, unchanged lineup. Out is going Luke Dalhouse. Medisub hasn't been doing anything either, so complete waste of time putting him out because he basically wasn't doing anything anyway. In for Fremantle, Josh Tracy Lloyd Meeker in. Banfield omitted, Tabernar injured, and Sean Darcy injured. Congratulations, Lockie Schultz on his 50th game, and Darcy Tucker playing his 100th game. This is going to be a belter. 1 and 2 in the Coleman Medal of Cameron and Hawkins versus just the all-round super goodness of the Fremantle Dockers. But the fact of the matter is, Darcy and Tabernar are probably their two most important players outside of Fife are not playing. Fremantle on the road. The Cats have not made a change. Even though they are Dad's Army, I think they're going to be taking this one out. And the J-Dog is also going with the Cats at home just to keep that top 4 position just in their sights. All right, let's head over to, I reckon this is going to be a semi-belter. Not going to be one, not going to be a channel changer, but it might be flick-worthy as the game goes on because at 2:10 p.m. at the Adelaide Oval is going to be the Adelaide Crows versus the GWS Giants. You know a team is going pretty well where not one change is made. Mentioned that a moment ago with Geelong. Adelaide are doing the same. Will Hamill is the Medi sub. Cooper Hamilton and Jesse Hogan are both in for the Giants. Out is Jack Stein. Matt DeBoer and Tanner Brunn has been omitted. And good luck to Cooper Hamilton on his debut as well. Hey, listen, everybody knows that I picked the Crows to beat the Doggies over there in Ballarat last week. And I tell you what, this is going to be a game for the ages. Adelaide will win this one. GWS will falter again, and Adelaide will be slotting in to that top 8. A team that we all predicted would potentially be finishing bottom 2 at the start of the year are now climbing to a final 8 position. The Pepsters picking them. The J-Dogs picking them. It's going to be the Crow Show over there, but this one could be ebbs and flows, and it could be a flicker game. So you might just want to keep the channels ready for that one because you could be potentially having a closey or Adelaide in a bit of a blowout. Tex Walker, oh my G, have you been an absolute star since your comeback? Rightio, big boys are playing at 4:35 at the G. It is the Melbourne Demons versus the Hawthorn Hawks. Last year, if you remember, the Hawks had a draw and also were able to pinch one versus the D's last year as well. Actually, no, the D's smashed them. I forgot about that. But, hey, these two teams normally have a bit of a close one, and it's happened throughout the years. Is it going to happen this week? I'm not too sure. The D's have been smashed by health and safety protocols due to COVID. Harrison Petty out. Keziah Pickett out. Luke Jackson out. Tom Sparrow out. You lose 4 premiership players, but you bring in 3. Viney, Lever, and McDonald all slotting themselves back into the Demons lineup. For the Hawks, Jackson Callow in. Lachlan Bramble are in. Out is Denver, Granger, Barras managed. Finn McGuinness has been omitted, and Josh Ward has been managed. Congratulations to you, Jackson Callow, on your debut. It is going to be a game you will want to forget. James Sicily playing his 100th game. He will be chaired off at the end of the game, but it will be in defeat because the D's will be too strong. Even though you got a lot of goodness exiting that team, Jack Viney after a week off, he'll just have some absolute mongrel in him. The best intercept in the game, Jake Lever and Tommy McDonald. Slot him down back. Slot him down forward. Hey, slot him in the ruck. Hey, slot him in your dream team. Slot him in the chair next to your girlfriend. And I tell you what, you will probably lose out because he can do anything, Tommy Mack. And when you got those 3 coming in into a team that's going to be consisting of around 18 premiership players, they're not going to be slipping this one to the Hawks. They're down. They're going to struggle in the ruck. But once again, the D's are just going to tick on for another week. Rightio, could this be another one of those, a game we didn't see coming? St Kilda versus Port Adelaide at Kazili Stadium. Up there in Queensland, St Kilda versus Port. Paddy Ryder, the big boy's back. Tommy Campbell, the big boy's back. Jack Hayes, a poor bloke doing his knee, but Saints have given him another contract, which is awesome. Jared Lainett omitted. Rowan Marshall is injured. Tom Campbell, good to see you back for your first game with the Saints. I don't know if this is the first time I've seen this in a long time, but Port Adelaide have not made a change this year. They haven't brought anyone in, yet they've omitted. So they've decided, the way that I'm reading this is they're going to be playing with either 22 players or that 23rd player will be Erin Phillips, who we know has just come across to Port Adelaide, and they're just waiting to get the clearance through that she can play and probably be the most dominant person in that Port Adelaide team. The J-Dog is going to go Port Adelaide, and I tell you what, I'm going with them too, J-Dog. I'm going with Port to cause an upset, one that nobody saw coming, and St Kilda to finally drop a game and break that 5-game winning streak. You heard it here on Tipped Out. Port are going to beat St Kilda Saturday night. Now, I'll tell you what, I mentioned earlier, West Coast and Richmond being the game of the week, which it will not be. And I told you to go and watch The Notebook. Well, this one is going to be an absolute snooze fest. And you'll hear why in just a moment. It's 7:25 p.m. Carlton and North Melbourne. Silvani, Stocker, Lockie O'Brien and Matthew Kennedy all in for the Blues. Boyd has been omitted. Parks has been injured. Pitternet injured. Massive loss for the Blues. Cottrell omitted. Will Setterfield again omitted. I don't know what's going on with him. In for the Roos is Bonner, Callum Coleman, Jones, and Jaden Stevenson back in. Borisov Magulagi, I can't pronounce it, omitted. Ben Mackay, suspension. What an idiot. Eddie Ford, the Medi sub, is out, and Tristan Zeri is injured. Now, if I told you to watch The Notebook on Friday night, slot that into a double up of 50 Shades of Grey because you've got more chance getting something out of that game than you will sitting around for 2 hours watching anything with this. This will be an absolute snooze fest, and the fact that Carlton will win this by a minimum 8 goals. North are atrocious, and I'm shocked to be saying that because I thought they'd be in a better position than at least Adelaide and then at least Hawthorn at the start of the year, and boy, was I wrong. So I'm going with the Carlton Blues in a canter. The J-Dog is also going with the Carlton Blues in a canter at Marvel Stadium. It will not be a nice night for North, and the questions will be asked about priority picks, coaching, merging, shutting them down, you name it. The talk will be, what are we going to do with North? But I'll tell you what, Carlton are going to do something with them big time on Saturday night. Rightio, heading into Sunday, May 1st, pinch and a punch for the first of the month. It's the Collingwood Magpies versus the Gold Coast Suns at the MCG. Aiden Begg is in it for his debut. Good luck, young fella. The Shades McKay, Mason Cox is back, Oliver Henry, Trent Bianco, who should have his own fashion label, and Tyler Brown are all in. Brody Grundy with his PCL and Kruger are out. In for the Suns, Darcy McPherson, Jack Lukosius. Good to see you back, big boy. Jai Ferrara, Malcolm Rosas. Like a bit of the Rosas. He goes all right. And Rory Atkins all back in. Ronnie Corbett is out. Will Pell is injured. Now, if you remember this time last year, the Gold Coast Suns came out and beat Collingwood on their home deck at the MCG. Now, will they be able to do that again? I'm not so sure because Joshy Corbett absolutely teared them up a new one last year. But I like Lukosius coming in. I like Rosas coming in. And I like Rory Atkins coming in. They've got one of the best ruckmen with Jared Witts going around with no Brody Grundy for the Pies and Mason Cox going to have to take a majority of what's going on in the middle. I'm going with an upset. Here we go. I'm calling this. The Suns to cause a boil over for Collingwood at the G for the second year in a row. It'll be Sunday fun day for the Suns. The J-Dog is going with Collingwood. I just think he's doing that because Alira, who is his amazing wife, has told him, you either pick the Pies or you're in the spare bedroom. And the J-Dog is under the thumb and he has gone with the Pies. But I'm putting my agates on the line and going with the Suns. All right, 2 more games to finish off this weekend. Do you remember many years ago, season 2000, the Essendon Football Club was sitting at 20 wins and they came against the Western Bulldogs and destroyed them to make it their only loss for the season. I don't think it's going to happen this year again in terms of the fact that Essendon will get pumped. The Doggies are going to take this one out. It's going to be 3:20 p.m. versus Essendon at Marvell Stadium. Crozier, Sweet, Vandermeer, our boy Mitch Wallis and Rourke Smith are all back in. Anthony Scott is with a bit of COVID protocol. And Jamara Ugle-Hagan has been omitted. See, flash in the pan, have a couple great weeks. Ooh la la, look at me on Instagram. Hasn't done anything. See you later. Josh Dunkley playing his 100th game. Good luck to you, big boy. In for the Bummers is Nick Bryan, Tommy Cutler, and the big boy Zach Reed. Good to see him back. Andrew McGrath, 100th game. Nick Hine, 50th game. Simple as this. Doggies need to win. Essendon can't win. It's going to be the Doggies. All right. Now, this is the game of the week. Talk about saving the best for last. It's definitely going to be this game. It is the Sydney Swans versus the Brisbane Lions. Before we do that, J-Dog has just sent me a message. No Western Bulldogs for me, Peps. I'm going with the Essendon Bombers. Unless he is seeing something or COVID has just taken over his mind, he is going against the grain and picking the Bombers. I don't know what you're doing there, big boy, but you know what? We respect your choice. We just don't have to agree with it. But he is the J-Dog. He is the man around town, and he must know something that we don't. Sydney Swans, game of the week. Lock this one in, 4:40 p.m. SCG. This will be one where you get all your chores done through the day. You tell the lovely, I'm going to be sitting down with a nice cool beverage, and don't bother me between now and the start of the news, because at 4:40 p.m. SCG, New South Wales, Swans versus Brisbane will be game of the week. And the team that wins this will be second pecker to the D's in the premiership tilt. And some big ins for both teams. Sinclair, Stevens, Sam Reid, Tommy Papley, good to see him back. Will Gould, all in. Logan McDonald, out. Peter McCartan, out, injured with the concussion. Nobody liked to see that at all last week. We just hope you get back bigger than better, big boy. Will Gould plays his first game and Ollie Florent plays his 100th. In for the Lions, Robertson, Madden, Nakai, Kakatu, and Tommy Fullerton. Kai Lohman has been injured after a brilliant little start last week as well too. The Swans came back last week. They were neck and neck and then just blew the game out of the water. 9 goals in that last quarter. Absolutely destroyed it. And Brisbane have just been doing their own thing for the entire season. Will the Brisbane Lions be able to win on the road? Can Sydney, with a cracking young list, be able to pinch another one at home? This will be a game that you will be talking about all week. And this will be the one getting first billing on Monday morning with all of the different radio programs, news programs, footy programs around the state. I am going with the Swans just for the fact that it's at home. It's a unique ground. Buddy is looking fantastic. Their midfield is looking fantastic. Isaac, I've got his name. Number 5, he's amazing. He's looking fantastic as well too. Lions, they're looking good, but I just have this feeling that Sydney at home is just going to be too strong. Flip it around, I'll be going with the Brisbane Lions. So I'm going with Sydney. J-Dog is going against the grain as well, and he is going with the Lions. So there you go. Trendsetters, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and the people from Western Australia. There are your tips for round 7, tipped out style, with your host Peps and the co-host with the most, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis. I hope your team wins. Join us Tuesday night for our live episode on our Facebook page for Lace Out, because it's how you want your footy. Good tipping and good luck.